Hello, good morning everyone. Okay, finally, all technical issues resolved, so I'm back live again. Now, I'm going to start this podcast for this morning is all about busting bone and cartilage myths. Now, where do I get this article from? It's from this e-知识 or e-learn magazine. It's a quarterly PDF magazine available only to members. And since it's only available to members, I thought I might as well extract some important information from it and share it via Facebook Live and YouTube Live so that more people can benefit out of this information gained from these articles. All right. So today I'm going to focus on busting bone and cartilage myths. All right. Let's look at this article. It shows a bear lifting weights, and we certainly have a bone to pick with bone and cartilage myths. Why do we say so? Because believing some of the myths can actually hurt our health. But actually, fear not, we have done the legwork in separating fact from fiction, as you do not have to actually sift through the internet to debunk the myth one by one. So today we are here to help you debunk some of the myths, all right? So the first myth that we're going to debunk is actually taking calcium supplements lowers fracture risk. Is that true? Now, to a certain extent, it may be true. So if the doctor prescribes you calcium supplements, by all means, follow the doctor's advice. But calcium supplements may not lower fracture risk and may even harm health. Right? While we do need calcium, calcium supplements do not necessarily make our bones stronger. Increasing calcium intake over a span of 2 years by taking calcium supplements increase bone mineral density by only about 0.6 to 1.8%. That's how low it is. This is based on a study by analysis of 59 randomized controlled clinical trials. This is not enough to significantly reduce the risk of bone fractures. All right. So, adequate calcium intake is still necessary for healthy bones, but experts recommend getting as much calcium as possible from foods. Okay, foods, not calcium supplements. This is because some evidence suggests that calcium supplements can increase the risk of heart attacks. All right, heart attacks. And when we take calcium supplements, the calcium does not magically go into our bones. So think about it this way: how does something man-made ensure that the calcium specifically goes into our bones only? So obviously, some of the stuff went into other areas of our body. It enters our bloodstream first, and research indicates that high levels of circulating calcium can raise the risk of heart problems. It may lead to the buildup of calcium in the wrong places in our arteries, leading to coronary artery disease. Some other studies have also linked calcium supplements with an increased risk of kidney stones and colon polyps, small growth in the large intestine that can become cancerous. So how do we then increase the calcium in our bones? Okay, so let's take a look at this. The next page. Okay, a better alternative to calcium supplement is to get calcium through our diet, such as wholesome foods like soybean, nuts, and leafy greens. In this way, we are taking calcium in small amounts together with other food sources, which helps in calcium absorption. So the key is actually calcium absorption together with other food sources. And Mother Nature presents us with plant food that is balanced in terms of the nutrients that we take in. So it's definitely safer to take wholesome plant food if we wish to increase our calcium in our body. And this will reduce greatly the risk of overconsumption or an over required dosage of calcium in our body. So do bear in mind that calcium when we talk about calcium absorption or calcium intake, take wholesome plant food. All right. Now, what's the next myth that we're going to debunk? Exercise does nothing for the bones. Some of us may have heard this, but is it true that exercise does nothing for the bones? Actually, it's not true. Okay, regular exercise helps build and maintain healthy bones. The next statistic that I'm going to share with you may actually stun some of you. Okay, NASA has found that just 6 months in space can weaken an astronaut's bones by a jaw-dropping 14%. Wow, 14%. That's a lot. So I actually empathize with the astronauts. Without gravity, our bones lose their sense of purpose and believe that we do not need them. So the same goes for any parts of our body, and especially in terms of our joints, muscles. The moment we stop using them for an extended period of time, the body will think that I don't have to actually build on the part of the body because anyway, my muscle does not need it anymore. So it will weaken over time. So as a result, they start remodeling themselves, shedding density like old coats. So what is NASA's ingenious solution to astronauts bone loss? More jumping. Weight bearing exercises like jumping, jogging, and walking are exercises we do on our feet that work our bones and muscles against gravity. When our legs and feet carry our body weight, more stress is placed on the bones, making our bones work harder. So bear in mind that if we want our bones to be stronger, walk more. All right. Of course, if let's say you are already facing issues with your bones, you may want to get a doctor's advice before proceeding on to lots and lots of trekking and walking. All right. But generally, exercise does a lot for the bones. Okay. Bone being a dynamic living tissue adapts to the physical demands placed upon it over time. Doing weight bearing exercises signals to our bones they are necessary, prompting improved calcium absorption. On the other hand, when bones are underutilized, as seen with astronauts in space with no gravitational stress, bones perceive reduced necessity and consequently begin to lose calcium and thereby bone density. And what if you are aiming to fend off bone loss in addition to weight bearing exercises, do strength training exercises too. In strength training exercises such as using dumbbells, resistance is added to movement to make muscles work harder and thereby become stronger over time. So while the focus is on increasing muscle mass, strength training exercises also put stress on bones and have bone building capacity. So remember, exercise does help our bones. All right. So go for weight bearing exercises and trekking and brisk walking as well. It will strengthen our bones over time. Just have faith that our body is actually a very intelligent creation. All right. So what's the next myth that we're going to debunk? Well, failing the bone density test is the definitive confirmation of osteoporosis. Now, do not be alarmed with lower scores of failing the bone density test yet. Bone density tests are generally recommended for women starting at age 65 and men starting at age 70, unless specific health conditions necessitate earlier testing. By the time individuals reach these ages, it is expected their bone densities are not comparable to that of someone much younger. So it is important to recognize that bone mass naturally diminishes with age. So it is not meaningful to compare one's bone's density to that of a young person. Nonetheless, it is worth emphasizing that prevention measures should begin at a young age, especially when it comes to bone health. That is to start weight-bearing exercises from young. So if you have not been doing weight bearing exercises, please start doing. The easiest is actually to carry a backpack and start walking. Of course, not a weight that you can't overcome. The weight that you generally find comfortable, and start walking around the neighborhood with that backpack. Okay, just bear in mind that it's a weight that you can manage. All right, not put stones into it or put rocks into it. So just a weight, generally a backpack that you can manage. And of course, do weight bearing exercises as well. It will strengthen your bone strength, right? And what's the other myth? This myth has been going around for ages. Myth is milk is the only dietary source of calcium. Now, from all the advertisements, many people tend to think of milk first when it comes to calcium, but plants have calcium too, as well as dietary fiber. So, in other words, milk is not the only source of calcium in terms of diet. Now, milk has 123 mg per cup based on calcium amount. Whole almonds has 385. Cooked spinach has 244.8. Cooked kale has 177. Cooked soybeans has 175. And broccoli has 62.4. So based on this table here, actually whole almonds has an even higher amount of calcium as compared to milk. okay, and cooked spinach as well, plus many others here actually, except for cooked broccoli. So it's not true that milk is the only dietary source of calcium. Okay, and what's the next myth that we want to debunk? Eating cartilage can replenish the cartilage in the human body. Now, the truth is, cartilage is a rubber-like padding that stops the end of bones and the joints from rubbing against each other. As we age, the cartilage in our joints wears down, and our joints can feel stiff, painful, or like they are grinding together when we use them. Some people think that if they gobble down cartilage, they can magically restore their body's own cartilage. This is definitely not the case. Okay, again, you may have been misled by advertisements out there. The cartilage we eat is broken down into its component amino acids by our body. Our body then use these amino acids however way it wishes, and not necessarily to repair the cartilage in our body. Plus, just because we eat cartilage from a cow does not mean it will turn into human cartilage. So please do not be misled by commercial advertisements that eating cartilage will actually replenish the cartilage in our human body. All right, it does not at all. Come to think of it, let me share with you a story of my parents. They've been, although they own a car, but they have enjoyed walking since day I was born, actually, because from my earliest memories of them, I remember walking with them from long distances, be it from our house to the market, from the market back to the emporium. We back in those days we stayed in Queenstown. They will always be walking, walking, walking. So I would sometimes walk from Queenstown to Tanglin Halt to Commonwealth to Gilmore, and back to Holland. And because of my this preference of walking by my parents, I built up this habit as well. I walk a lot, I trek a lot. I like to go to parks in Singapore to walk and walk and walk. And over time, I realized it has strengthened my bone mass density as well. So by all means, please do a lot of walking, and of course, eat wholesome plant food as well. I've been taking at least 13 types of vegetables a day, drink a lot of soy milk, not the soy milk from the hawker centers, okay, because those soy milk in the hawker centers, they are boiled to about 100 degrees Celsius, and all the nutrients will be lost by then. So please patronize those hawkers, because they put in the hard work selling soy milk in the hawker center. But those soy milk in the hawker center, drink it to quench your thirst, but not in terms of absorbing nutrients, because soy milk boiled at 100 degrees Celsius, the nutrients will be gone by then. So I've been drinking soy milk produced by this Singapore-based company. They have a factory in Singapore. They actually process their soy up to 60 degrees Celsius. As soy processed at 60 degrees Celsius have been known to retain about 90+% of the nutrients. So please drink soy on a daily basis and consume lots and lots of wholesome plant food, a variety of fruits and vegetables. I consume at least 13 a day. So eating cartilage can never replenish the cartilage in the human body. So stop spending huge amount of money to get animal cartilage to replenish the cartilage in our body. It doesn't work, okay? Okay, the next myth is about glucosamine supplements do not have any side effects. Is it true? Now, we have heard this many times that we are prescribed with glucosamine supplements. By all means, if your doctor prescribed that and they say that you need it, consume it. But at the same time, you may want to get a second opinion. Okay, most people take glucosamine supplements for joint health. Glucosamine serves as a precursor for molecules that comprise cartilage and plays a role in their formation. Most glucosamine supplements available on the market are made by processing the shells of seafood, including shrimp, crabs, and lobsters. This is usually done through chemical and biological treatments. It has been widely reported that glucosamine supplements do not have any side effects or are safe for the body. However, newer research has shown that glucosamine may increase insulin resistance and increase the risk of diabetes. So please refrain from taking glucosamine supplements on a long-term basis. Instead, take wholesome plant food. In fact, you'll save a lot of money as well. Wholesome plant food is definitely more economical. All right. And glucosamine is often combined with chondroitin sulfate in supplements. Chondroitin sulfate is a fundamental component of cartilage structural makeup. This sulfate in supplements is typically derived from the cartilaginous remains of various animals, including cows, pigs, shark, and birds, the bits that no one wants to munch on. So this sulfate can also be used can also be made in a lab. It is worth noting that these supplements are frequently inconsistent and may not meet pharmaceutical standards in terms of quality. In addition, animal cartilaginous remains cannot replace human cartilage. Studies have found that glucosamine and these supplements may interact with the anti-collagen drug warfarin. Okay, so they may lead to some side effects and may interact with this anti-collagen drug warfarin. So please bear in mind if you are taking this drug at the same time consuming glucosamine supplements, it may lead to some complications. So always ask your doctor and be honest with your doctor what kind of medicine you're taking before taking glucosamine supplements. All right. So next, glucosamine and chondroitin supplements can relieve joint pains. Research shows that this combination of glucosamine, chondroitin, or even a combination of two do not have any clinically significant effect on perceived joint pain. In one study, it actually increased pain, and thus the study had to be stopped. So it actually increased pain. So do not think that taking these supplements can relieve joint pains. All right. So where was I? Okay. So this is basically all I have to share today. Now, this number of myths that I debunked today is all based on scientific research and written by a team of scientists and doctors. So I would say that these are the latest research that come out of this team of scientists and doctors, and it's all produced in this eLearn magazine. So after I've read it, I told myself I must share it with the audience and of course my loved ones and my friends. So I hope you can go through this video again to actually go through some of the myths and remind ourselves that actually bone health, maintaining bone health is actually an easy feat. We don't have to go through the complicated process of taking this supplement, that supplement, unless it's prescribed by a doctor. But if generally we want to maintain our bone health, start walking, start exercising, start weight bearing exercises. All right. So with that, I'll end my podcast for today. And thank you for tuning in. Okay, and have a nice holiday. Happy New Year.